Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. So for today's video, I have more Dollar Tree DIY Christmas decor pieces, and I am really excited. Usually I decorate for Christmas right after Thanksgiving, but this year I started early because I just need that little bit of joy. So my house already has a little snowman up, I have my wreath on my door, and after Thanksgiving I'll do the inside. But I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I won't say which one is mine, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be obvious when I, do my voiceover. But I hope that you enjoy this video and you stick around by subscribing to this channel, because once you hit subscribe, we instantly become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
And please hit that notification bell, make sure that you set them to all so you know every time I post a video. But in case YouTube doesn't let you know, follow me on Instagram. I always post what I'm up to and all my other socials. So let's go ahead and get started. In the candle section of Dollar Tree, I found this glass candle holder. It's not very big, but it's also not very small either. And in the hardware section, they had a 3-pack of twine. I'm going to unravel a good amount, and I'm going to start to wrap that around the lip. If you want to save yourself $1 and you happen to eat those wee yogurts, then reuse those containers. It would look so cute. And now I'm going to take the little Dollar Tree mini ornaments. These are the ornaments that they have for their small trees, and they have them in different colors. I just chose the glittery gold. In the bathroom and pharmacy section of Dollar Tree, I found this Epsom salt. This is lavender scented, but they have regular. You can always scent it yourself with essential oils, but I like this scent. I'm going to add a generous amount to the bottom, and then I'm going to add some candles. These are the candles that I had at home. I have no intention on lighting these, and if you're adding anything else to the inside, do not light. I found these mini trees at Dollar Tree, and I'm shaking them around because I'm saying in the video, do not light if you're using a real candle. Because these are flammable, they're little plastic trees, but I did remember that I had little LED candles from Dollar Tree. These are always available no matter what time of year. So I took my little votive candle out and I added these little tea light candles. They already come with a battery, which is a plus, and it fits nicely in there. So to add some more details, I took this little greenery from one of the Dollar Tree ornaments, and I just added it to the side to make it look a little bit more festive. And I think this is so cute if you want to use the Dollar Tree candle holder or a little wee bottle. These 11 by 14 canvases from Dollar Tree have quickly become my favorite simply because they're a really nice size for wall art, and they're flat so you can make a frame for them or fit them in one of the Dollar Tree frames. I found these handkerchiefs in the scarf section of Dollar Tree. They come two a pack, and I really like this buffalo check one, so I'm using my little mini iron. I will link this below. You can find this on Amazon, and some Walmarts have them. This is a really nice alternative to the mini Cricut Easy Press, and it works perfectly for projects like this. Now I'm going to secure my handkerchief down by adding dabs of glue to the 4 corners. I'm trying to get this as straight as possible so that it looks nice. And then once I have my 4 corners secured, I'm going to flip this over and secure the rest down so that it's not all bulky. By the way, if you want to skip this step and you just want to paint your buffalo check on, you totally can. I'm not the greatest with painting stuff on that requires me to peel off tape, so this is the method that I used. Now, you can use this 11 by 14 frame from Dollar Tree. They are a little hard to find, but it fits perfectly with the 11 by 14 canvas. And if you don't want to buy the canvas, you can actually just use the glass or the cardboard that's inside, and it'll save you a little bit of money. So this is what it looks like, but honestly, I don't like that it's dark, so I'm going to use this frame that I made for my Halloween sign. I didn't put that on YouTube, I did put that on TikTok, but I'm using wood from Lowe's, which is like a couple cents that I've cut down. I'm going to re-iron the pattern, and then I'm going to use a little mini wreath. I've had this for years. It's from Target Dollar Spot. I'm going to secure it down using hot glue, but of course you can add a little piece of ribbon, and then I'm going to use this beautiful Dollar Tree ornament right there in the middle to give it some details, but of course you can add whatever you want. This was so easy to make and looks like something you would buy at Hobby Lobby. In the floral section of Dollar Tree, they have these beautiful grapevine wreaths. Now I used a small one and a big one, and I'm going to attach it using some toothpicks first and then some twine. This is a twine that I was talking about in the hardware section, and toothpicks are in the kitchen section. If you've seen my spring tutorial, you know I made this into a bunny last year. So I'm doing the exact same thing, just putting my toothpicks in so that it stays nice and straight, and then wrapping my twine around so that it doesn't move around. Now that that's in place, I'm going to take some of these beautiful picks from Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has really amazing picks during Christmas time, and I'm just going to bend the bottom just a little bit so that it fits the curve of the wreath. I'm going to use 2 of these, and once I figure out how I want it, I'm going to cut down the rest of the stem. But what I'm going to do to attach this is, instead of using hot glue, I am going to use twine to wrap it in place. Because the twine is the same color as the twine on the grapevine wreath, you're not even going to be able to tell, and you can take this off and reuse this. You can reuse it for spring to make a bunny. As you can see here, the little ears that I used on my bunny one, I'm adding the second piece by doing the same thing and wrapping more twine around. And if you really need to use hot glue, then you can hot glue stuff onto the picks. That way when you remove it, your wreath is nice and clean. In the pet section of Dollar Tree, I found this beautiful scarf, and if you saw my haul this week, you saw that I put it on my puppy. So I'm going to use the exact same scarf. Yes, this was on my dog, and I'm going to wrap it around just to give my little snowman a cute little scarf. But if you cannot find this, you can use a regular scarf and just cut it down. I just thought that this was the perfect size. I do rearrange it a few times, but I found a little snowman hat ornament to match. So if you just add it like this, it's going to stick forward. So what you're going to want to do is just cut the back flat so that it goes nicely on your wall, on your door. And now you're going to attach this using hot glue. You can always add some toothpicks and just poke it through, but I don't mind the top having a little bit of glue. I can always just rip this off with no issue. In the school and stationery section of Dollar Tree, they sell these little cardboard type pieces, 2 for $1. So I'm just going to grab one and just start twisting it from one end to make a cone. And then I'm going to secure that down using hot glue. You can use tape as well, but tape is going to get in the way of whatever you are gluing down. Now for the bottom, I'm just going to straighten this out. And I was looking for a rubber band just so I can place a rubber band around to use that as a guide on where to cut. But of course I couldn't find one, so I'm just checking to see if it's nice and straight and cutting until it stands as straight as possible. So now with this shelf liner, which I found in the kitchen section of Dollar Tree, I am just going to unravel it and start cutting it into strips. Now I didn't cut an exact measurement, I just tried to make little squares. And if you look closely, they have different little rows. You can't really see it on camera, but when it's in front of you, I cut every 4th row. So the little pattern on there will look a little different. I did this until I made my way all the way to the end. And then I took those individual strips and cut them into 4 pieces by cutting them in half, cutting that, and then cutting those pieces in half as well. This is what I'm left with, and I'm going to take the very tip and cut them into like a diamond shape and then start working my way all the way around. As a suggestion, I would glue these things together first and then start wrapping around, because this is a time-consuming project, and also use finger protectors. I have restaurant hands. I've worked in restaurants all my life, so hot stuff really doesn't bother me. But this is what you're going to do. You're going to pinch it, add a little bit of glue, put that together, and then just set it to the side. I made these all before continuing the rest of my tree, and then I worked my way all the way around. When I finish one row, I start to place the other row in between the spaces of the bottom row, if that makes sense. So the higher up you go, the less you're going to use. And I ended up using 2 packs of the shelf liner. So if you want this to be fuller, you might want to use 3. I would get 3 on the safe side, just in case there's any areas that you see that are a little on the bare side. And remember, depending on how long or short you cut this cone, you might need more or you might need less. Mine ended up being about 2.5 feet with the star. So without the star, it's not as big. I left that little tip exposed so that I can add my ornament, which is going to make this taller. Now this one would make it really, really tall, and this is a Dollar Tree ornament, but I didn't think that the colors would really pop. So I used this Dollar Tree ornament. So I added a generous amount of hot glue. This does have glitter, so you may have to scrape a little bit of the glitter to keep it in place. So I added a generous amount of hot glue, pressed it into place, and you can see here the difference in sizes, and it ends up being 2.5 feet. Remember, depending on where you cut the cone down, yours might end up taller or shorter. In the seasonal section of Dollar Tree, where they have all of their seasonal vases and bakeware, I found this beautiful sleigh. Now, I think this would be great for a gift basket, but we're going to make this a little centerpiece. So I'm going to grab my Dollar Tree sanding sponge, which you can find in the hardware section, and I'm going to scuff this up. I want to remove all of the shine because I'm going to spray paint this, and since this isn't a hard plastic, and when you touch it, it does bend in, you don't want your spray paint to flake off, especially since it's winter time right now and spray paint is hard enough to dry. So just make sure that you are scuffing up all of that plastic and getting rid of all of that shine. Now with a clean rag, I'm going to wipe everything down so that there's not little pieces of debris when I spray paint, because it will show through if you have anything left over. And I am going to use this color, Ballet Pink, but you can use whatever color you want. Make sure that you're spray painting something else first so that you don't end up with like a big old wet stain. Usually when it's cold out, your spray paint is going to be like this weird clear white at first, or clear, I don't know how to explain it, but I always spray paint my surface and then work in layers. So I did this in 3 layers so that I don't get a paint drip, and then when it was completely dry, I did the inside. Now for the bottom, I'm going to use these little sleds from Dollar Tree. They're in the ornament section, and I'm going to remove all of that stuff on there, and I'm going to save it because I am going to use the little greenery on there. Full disclosure, some of the burlap is easier to remove. This one was a dream to remove. The other one wasn't. I did use 2. So I spray painted this using this beautiful gold color. And once it was ready to assemble, because the piece gave me so many issues, I decided to cut down one of the sleds. So this little part right here, on the one that looks all funky, I'm just going to cut that down and we'll use that as the back part. Because these are little plastic ornaments, they're not exactly straight, so try and get them as straight as possible, line them up, and then add your hot glue or whatever you plan on gluing them with. I used hot glue in case I changed my mind on the placement, but whatever area still had burlap and didn't spray paint nicely, that is what I covered. So I put the little swoop in the front and then the other area in the back, and I think this adds a really nice detail. Now I'm going to use this diamond wrap from Dollar Tree, or pearl wrap, whatever it's called. I found this in the sticker section where all of the stationery is. I cut them down into strips and then I started placing them on the very edge. You can't really see this in photos, but it definitely does give it a nice detail in person. And that's my husband in the background. This is what it looks like. It's up to you if you want to add that. So I added one of those little Dollar Tree dusters to the bottom just so it kind of looks like snow. And then I added the little pipe cleaner tree things that they have at Dollar Tree. I added different sizes, but of course you can add whatever you want to the inside. It's totally up to you. I always try and use all of my material, so those pieces that we pulled off of the sleds, I'm just going to cut them down and use the greenery to add some detail to the front of the sleigh, or the side actually. Now you can stop here, but I added the little reindeer ornaments, which are my favorite from Dollar Tree. They come in different colors, but the white looked so perfect, and this is definitely my favorite. So that's it for me. I really hope that you enjoyed these Christmas tutorials. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Let me know which one you'll be trying at home. And as usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will hopefully see you on the next one.